Welcome to another episode of OG Talk. I am Chase. It's good to be with you guys on Brown People Day, Martin Luther King Day, 2026. It is about, looks like it's warming up. It's about 22 degrees, and we just got hammered with snow out here in New Jersey. And it's been a very good weekend to sit back, watch quarterbacks choke in the playoffs, and kind of have like this weekend was a little different in that I was mostly stuck in the house, just with all of the snow outside and stuff. But I did manage to go outside. I did work a little bit this weekend. I fell twice in somebody's driveway. It was pretty funny. I know I'm on somebody's Ring camera out there, laying on my back, staring up at the sky, asking the universe, like, how did I get here? But yeah, I fell, and it was pretty bad too. Like, I didn't get hurt because there was so much snow, but like I really did just hit my hip. Like, this person's driveway was like on an incline, probably at it was like pretty high up incline, and my car couldn't get up their driveway, so I had to walk, and that didn't really work out too well. But anyway, so how are we feeling out there, man? Are we rejuvenated? Are we ready for another week? Are we working on projects, or are we reflecting? Are we ready for what's next? Are we preparing ourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually for the next thing that's gonna come up? For me, honestly, I have been in a what can I do better mode. I think that's what it is. Not quite New Year's resolutions or anything like that, because I'm never good at stuff like that. And I know I'm not going to hold to a lot of that stuff. But I do want to be more efficient and do things in a more enlightening way. I want to expand myself this year, spiritually, more than anything else. I want to reach a place where, wisdom is my primary goal. I want to learn more. It's books that I want to read this year, and I'm hoping to have enough time to do that. One thing, though, that I did want to discuss, and that's why I really got on here today, is, in the media, like, are we being aware that if you really are a positive person in the media, like, you will be attacked? Have y'all heard about that reporter down in Jacksonville after the Jaguars got eliminated last week? There was a female woman. There was a woman that was a reporter down there, and the coach, she gave like the most inspiring, she commented on how like the Jaguars were like super trash last year, but they had a great season this year, won their division, and she was very complimentary of the coach. And then people came up, she became under fire because she was positive towards the coach, and the other people in the media is like, there's no place for that. Why is positivity so shunned in society, and especially the media? You ever notice that, let's say X, Y, and Z artist gets accused of something, right? A celebrity or something. Such and such gets accused of actual assault, or ape, or something like that. Drugging people, whatever it might be, right? And that's the big headline. Do we ever stop and think that if these allegations are false, where a lot of times they are, not all the time, of course, some real, you know how celebrities get down. We all know how Hollywood get down, right? We understand that. But what about when the rumors are not true? Why is their apology never big? Why is this was false and got thrown out of court? Why is that never looked at? We'll drag people, and we'll people have stigmas attached to their names, and I'm in no way like defending celebrities at all. Like, I think it would be tough to be a celebrity. If I was ever a celebrity, I think it would be tough because at the end of the day, we're all just regular people making mistakes. Whether you know about them or not is different, but we all make the same mistakes. What I do for a living doesn't change my moral character. If you are a bad person, being a janitor, you're gonna be a bad person running a Fortune 500 company. It's just who you are. But I'm always amazed that when things are not true, blatantly false, that part never gets talked about. They never say, "Oh my God, breaking news, such and such was found not guilty of all charges," and da 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 da. Like, we only do that on high profile cases, but what about, like, nobody, the apology is never loud, and I don't like that. I really don't like that. It really bothers me. But why is positivity so shunned? You ever try to tell somebody in your family, like, I want to do this, that, blah, 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 something positive that's going to enrich your life or maybe enrich others, and you notice how you never really get the support? But when you want to be out here doing whatever, people want to latch on to that. Positivity and change and that loving energy of support. Everybody knows they need it, but it's like you almost have to be ashamed to express it. Anytime you're expressing positivity, whether it's in the workplace, you ever work somewhere and you're a positive person and you work around all these people who just want to gossip and tear people down, and if you're not that type of person, you become an outcast. So it seems to me, no matter what level that we're dealing with, whether it's sports or anything, we never talk about the positive side, yo. It's like people want to be upset. People want to be miserable. And why do we have to hide behind the good things? You got to keep things secret when you want to do, positive in the world. How many times do you hear people say, yeah, like, I think like that too, but you can't come out and talk about it. Because when you talk about positivity, people look at you like you crazy. If you tell people you don't drink, you got people are like, "Oh, you don't drink?" Like, you get looked at crazy. Like, "No, I'm not really fond of alcohol anymore," or whatever. Like, all of that stuff is kind of frowned upon nowadays. Like, you gotta be about negativity. You gotta be about tearing other people down, or people don't want to hear from you. I don't ever want to be that type of celebrity. I don't ever want to be. I mean, I couldn't even imagine being a celebrity, like what that life is like. But they're regular people making mistakes like you and me, And when they don't make mistakes, or something about them is blatantly false and it's a money grab, it's just never reported the right way. I don't know. I think we need to change our perspective on what do we want in the future. Do we want a positive life, or do we want to just keep status quo with the negativity? But yeah, it was just a couple of thoughts that was rolling through my head today. I do want to tell each and every one of you, please, 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 and before I get off here, please, 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 check your mental health, okay? The world may be dark, but at least I know with me, like, I'm going to make sure that we start, at least in my own life, start focusing more on what's right and the goodness that we can bring to the world. I know we're not there yet. I know we may be a far way away, but I see the world changing every day. I see more people learning about energy, learning about the world, learning how things really work, and not just, you know, I think people are ready for change, and your positivity, even if it's just a little bit, let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate that. The people that are out there, the librarians, the teachers that are at your kids' schools that are giving the extra effort, let them know how much we appreciate that. Because positivity doesn't get celebrated. Positivity is never celebrated. And, that's a sad thing. Anyway, love you all. Have a great day. Started a week. And we going to get there, y'all. One day at a time, one piece at a time. All right? Just remember, you're a lot stronger than you think you are. Tap into that. You tap into that. All right? Love you all. Peace.